Welcome back, brothers and sisters, to our Desire of Ages series. Now, in our last episode, we saw how the Jews thought they were entitled to God's blessings because they were Abraham's children, or because they were the chosen nation as per se. And they misinterpreted God's promise of eternal favor upon Israel. There were rules, and there was a rule of obedience that they needed to follow. But being disobedient, that favor was no longer upon them. So we continue Desire of Ages 106, paragraph 3. These things are written on our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. 1 Corinthians 10:11. How often we misinterpret God's blessings and flatter ourselves that we are favored on account of some goodness in us. God cannot do for us that which he longs to do. His gifts are used to increase our self-satisfaction and harden our hearts in disbelief and sin. So his gifts are used to increase. That basically what you're trying to say here, that is that God cannot work the good in us if we think that his goods are for our self-satisfaction, our self-ambition. John declared to the teachers of Israel that their pride, selfishness, and cruelty showed them to be a generation of vipers, a deadly curse to the people rather than the children of just and obedient Abraham. In the view of the light they had received from God, they were even worse than the heathen, to whom they felt so much superior. They had forgotten the rock whence they were hewn, and the hole of the pit from which they had been digged. God was not dependent upon them for fulfilling his purpose. As he called Abraham out of the heathen place, so he could call others for his service. Their hearts might now appear as selfless as the stones of the desert, but his spirit could quicken them to do it, to do his will and receive fulfillment of his promise. So what John is trying to say here is that the Pharisees and the Sanhedrin, the Israel nation, those who were chosen to do God's work, were worse than the heathen. And brothers and sisters, in our day-to-day as well, we see people of the church in higher positions of influence, in positions of authority. People within our churches feel like they don't need God anymore. Because they're in this position of influence, they feel like what they say matters more than God. And we fall into the same place as these Sanhedrin and Pharisees if we believe the same, that we're worse than the heathen. God can call anyone to do his work. Remember, when the Gentiles received the word, they grabbed it with both hands and received it with full heart. As how with full heart the Israel nation